On the road again. How's it going, everybody? It's your main man Tommy on the spot. Hope everyone is having a very, very good Monday here. A little bit of a lunch edition of the Wrestling Drive, as we've been doing more frequently recently. But I wanted to get on here and jump on with you guys, talk about Progress Wrestling, which I had the opportunity to attend this past weekend and had a blast at. Really, really good show. A lot of fun there. But before I even get into that, I got a little bit of good news and unfortunate news as well to get into with all of you guys. This is a pretty exciting time to be a wrestling fan. Obviously, again, it's SummerSlam week, and yesterday it was announced, pretty late last night actually, WWE mentioned this on their Twitter, that the New York Post actually broke the story that WWE will be returning to the Barclays Center in 2018. So I guess wherever you live, it's, you know, exciting news and all, but here in New York, it's awesome. I really thought this was going to be it. I thought it was going to be a 3-year deal, and then maybe they'd move on to more of a, I don't know, an arena, maybe a baseball park, somewhere where they can do something maybe outdoors for SummerSlam, since it does seem to be, you know, gaining momentum in terms of popularity, in terms of people recognizing that it is the number 2 show right behind WrestleMania. But they're coming right back to the Barclays Center. I know there's some folks in LA that are pretty disappointed, and I also thought WWE might have gone back to LA just because of all the celebrity tie-ins and all of the different, they seem to really enjoy LA. They were there for, I think, 5 to 6 years for SummerSlam. It seems like they want one specific location for SummerSlam, whether it be in New York, in LA. They want one specific location that you find synonymous with SummerSlam, and it's great to have it back here at the Barclays Center. I know the Barclays Center loves WWE at their different, I've been to job fairs with some of the folks over in the Barclays Center, and on their big awning, it's the Barclays Center, home of WWE SummerSlam, and then in lower, smaller letters to the side, it's and the Brooklyn Nets and the Brooklyn and the New York Islanders. So they put WWE at the top of their priority list. They love having them, and good to see that relationship continue moving forward. No press release has been released, so I don't know if this is another 3-year extension or just one, but we'll keep you updated on this here YouTube, as well as the Wrestling Spot, the DailySpotlight.com, the Wrestling Drive Daily Spotlight. So keep yourself logged in, tuned into all that. On the unfortunate side of things, obviously today, wrestling fans, all of us have a bit of a heavy heart. You know, we're kind of maybe updating the Google or looking on the Twitter with one eye open today. Got some unfortunate news that Ric Flair is not doing so well. Apparently he was in the hospital for some routine checkups, and then a member of his PR team mentioned that he took a turn for the worse and needs all of our prayers. So keep the Nature Boy in your thoughts today. He's an all-time great. For many, he's synonymous with pro wrestling, and you hope that he's able to pull out of this. This is a guy who's, you know, survived a plane crash, and a guy who has always kind of found a way. He's the type of guy that, you know, maybe he's not always perfect, but you can't help but kind of go, shucks, he's the Nature Boy, and, you know, kind of love the guy. So, you know, hoping Ric Flair pulls through, hoping Ric Flair does okay today, and keep him in your thoughts, and, you know, hope for everyone's sake that he's okay. Wanted to get into a happier note. There's no real way to transition into this, but I did attend Progress Wrestling over the weekend in the very hot, the very sweaty, the very balmy Elm Core Youth and Adult Center here in Corona, New York, right in my backyard, not far away, about a 15-20 minute drive for me. So great to go see a fed like Progress that I had heard so much about, and that I knew was going to deliver such a strong show, be so close to me. So it was really cool, and it was good to attend that show. It was a lot of fun. Really, really good show. Got to give it up to all those folks over there. Top to bottom, just 7 matches that were all kick-ass. Every single one of those guys busted their ass, did what they can to spread the word about Progress, to spread the word about British wrestling in general. And it was a really, really strong show. If you have never checked those guys out, make sure to go out of your way to do so. As I told you guys on Friday, this was my first independent wrestling show that I'd attended live in the span of about 5 years. So it was great to get back there. Great to see independent wrestling doing so well. Over 1,500 people packed into the Elm Core Center here in Corona. And Matt Riddle and Walter, they were the main event. They completely tore the house down. There was also some high-flying action with Mark Haskins and Austin Theory and Mandrews and Keith Lee. Those guys, total insanity. I mean, just over-the-top craziness. It was great to see, obviously, British Strong Style, the guys, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, they were all in attendance, and they were probably the most overactive the entire show. The line to meet these guys was insane, right at the top of the show, all the way to the end of the show. Really, really cool to see so many people coming out and supporting them, and couldn't happen to 3 more humble dudes. You were able to take a photo with Pete Dunne and throw the UK title over your shoulder. It was really, really good stuff. And also got to give it up to Joey Janela and Jimmy Havoc. These guys tore the house down, complete and utter insanity, your hardcore type match. Joey Janela took a sunset flip in which he was seated in a chair and landed upright, still seated in the chair. Did kind of a chill-in pose. He's great. If you've never gotten a chance to see him, go out of your way to do so. You will not be disappointed. And just overall, just a really, really fun show. But one thing I have to say, the classiness by the people running the organization, as well as most of the fans in attendance, was top-notch. Unfortunately, TK Cooper, who's a really talented young guy, as a part of the South Pacific Power Trip, he got really badly hurt. Shattered his ankle pretty badly, dislocated it, was rushed to a hospital right afterwards, and they needed to stop the show, obviously, to help him out. And the entire place went completely silent, so that medical personnel in the house were able to get down there as quick as possible, tend to TK, help him out. All the entire locker room cleared out to kind of help bring him to the back, and the fans were completely silent. And I will say, Jim Smallman, he's the guy who runs Progress Wrestling. He does a really good job in just being straight up honest and calm in super crazy situations. Obviously, it was announced that Pete Dunne on Friday suffered an eye laceration and wasn't able to get cleared to compete at the show. He was straight up about it. Mentioned a little video came out on Twitter, told everyone straight up what was going to happen, and in doing so, by having that transparency, that's how you develop trust, and and you can trust that they're going to have a good show anyway, and everyone will move forward. And but TK Cooper, I heard he's doing okay. I heard he was actually able to make it to the Boston show, at least to kind of meet and greet the fans. Go out of your way to find his merchandise and buy that if you can. He's a good kid, and hopefully wish him a really speedy recovery. It's never good to see. Obviously, this ain't ballet, and things happen, but never good to see. Took a major dive over the top and just landed wrong on his ankle, and had to be rushed out of there. So hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. The last thing I'd mention about that, about the entire Progress show, was major kudos to the wrestlers that were on this show. Pretty much all of them afterwards stuck around to meet fans, and when I say they stuck around to meet fans, they were chatting with fans. This was not your normal meet and greet. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Goodbye. You see somebody, hey, quick photo, and then you're out the door. And I'm doing far too much moving around for someone who's driving. But in doing so, they were able to go there. And not only that, but if you bought their merch, they were super happy about it. They were able to sign for you. But if you wanted a photo op, every last one of them posed for a photo op without charging anybody. And that's crazy, and I got to give them a lot of credit for that, especially guys. Who was there? Matt Riddle was there doing this. Austin Theory was there doing it. Donovan Dijak, Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, Jim Smallman. The guys from the British Strong Style were there. South Pacific Power Trip. And that's great. I mean, we obviously had Deej there. He's a kid. He was wanting to meet all of his favorites, all of his heroes at the end of the show. And we were all kind of budgeting out money, trying to figure out wondering how much each one of these was going to be. And they were all just free. And this was great because he was able to go around and chat with all of his heroes and chat with all the wrestlers that were there and doing it. Specifically someone like Jack Gallagher, Gentleman Jack Gallagher from the WWE, from 205 Live fame. He was there signing autographs and taking photos at the end of the show, but didn't have any merchandise. He was literally just there to say hi to the people, to lend a helping hand where he could to add to that live experience. And that gentleman thing, that's a shoot. He's a good dude. So check him out. Check out all the guys over at Progress Wrestling. A really, really fun weekend. And again, today, though, obviously what takes priority, the health of Ric Flair. Let's keep him in our thoughts, and hope he pulls through. All right. So that's going to do it for me for right now. I'll be back later on. Make sure you also keep your eyes peeled for all the SummerSlam retro stuff I'll get going this week. It's going to be a ton of stuff. We might even head down to the Barclays Center tomorrow. So there's going to be a ton of stuff here on the Wrestling Drive YouTube channel, as well as on thedailyspotlight.com. Until next time, though, guys, take care. Enjoy your lunch.